Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. We've been enjoying some winter flying in the Citabria and of course working on our Vans RV-7A project. This video is going to be all about the fuel tanks. We're taking them off the wings, boroscoping them, building the fuel cylinders, prosealing, and pressure testing them. Let's go. So we're just going to modify our wing stand to be able to put the wing back in, leading edge down with the fuel tank off. Cliff's going to take it from here.
We're going to take the capacitor. I don't want to modify it too much because the tanks are going to be off for about a week and then back on for good. So rather than go all extravagant, we're just going to put a piece of wood up through here, kind of a shelf for now, but it'll all be a downward bearing load. So a benefit of the Quickbuild tanks is they come with most of the prosealing done. But with that said, we wanted to boroscope the inside of the tank. We wanted to check each rivet, all of the seams, make sure there's no tools left behind, make sure there's no rags in there. Really just make sure that we are fully confident of what the inside of the tank looks like, because once it's sealed, that's it. We should hopefully never see it again.
These are the fuel cylinders that are sent with the kit. Each comes with one long wire which you bend the appropriate way for your particular tank. We decided against a flop tube, so both of our tanks will have the same fuel cylinder. These will need to be tested again once we have our G3X set up, but to make sure you have the correct bend in your wires, you test the ohms at full and empty positions.
We are working on the fuel tanks, so they're off the wing. It's been about 4 weeks already, waiting on parts, waiting on things, waiting on knowledge. We have our fuel centers here with our pieces bent, with our corks put in. We followed the instructions and we ended up messing up.
Quick note on that. Our idea was to make a board like the one I'm working on here that the cork could fit in and we'd bend off of that. There was a bit too much wiggle room, and in addition, the bends are different due to the interference of a baffle on the bottom of the tank. This schematic is honestly so unnecessarily confusing. These are the same bends in the same direction, just a different length, and the cork snaps in a different direction, so don't let that confuse you too much.
So we have our old ones, which bend was on their opposite way, and the wires were too short, and when we thought we could get away with it, it just did not have the correct throw. So we got them. Second time's always going to be better, of course. So now they are like literally to the thousandth of an inch. One of the things we were a little surprised about was these are the fuel pickup tubes that Vans sends with the kit and also that are in the plans. I saw a bunch of other people using ones with a screen. I thought they were all homemade. Ended up seeing them on their website. They were like 15 bucks a piece. Much nicer screen, has Proseal on it. I don't know why these wouldn't just be the standard item with it. It's like, looks so much better. And our fear with this was something floating over top and sucking right onto it. This one, really that would not be possible. And it just looks nicer. So these can go. And we're gonna get these situated to put onto the tank.
And it's Proseal time.
Yes.
If you've never worked with Proseal, it is a sticky, smelly, and slightly stressful process. We've made it as relaxing for your viewing pleasure as possible. We got everything pro-sealed fairly thoroughly, and have to say that the tubes you buy from Vans, which you put in a caulking gun, are fantastic for staying neat. You'll have to excuse the lack of footage putting the fuel cinder plates on. It was all hands on deck once those were ready. We put the tanks to dry in the warmest room of the house for about a week before pressure testing them. The pressure test is a rite of passage for all Vans builders. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Even though the tanks have been initially tested by the factory, this pressure test is still a stressful period of waiting. As seen, we used the balloon and soapy water method to identify any leaks. This is what the bubbles would look like if we did have a leak. This clip here was just the attach point for the setup Cliff made, so we were able to tighten it up no problem.
Alright, so we are about to do the actual fuel portion of the fuel tank test. Just want to see if anything weeps through the rivets. So we have our fuel cap, put on the inlet, it doesn't all come out. Do that a little tight. Remember, don't have to wrench it down. We have our little Curtis valves right here. And then we have one of our favorite things, Easy Fuel Lube. It's non-hardening, so it keeps the threads nice, it seals it. We'll just do that a little bit on the threads. We discovered this stuff when we changed the Curtis valves on the Citabria, trying to be proactive, change them all out before they leak, and then they ended up all leaking. So this is what saved the day. Lesson learned though. With the big tube, don't squeeze too hard, or it's gonna come out the bottom.
The final test was to fill them up with Avgas. We used about 12 gallons, and turn them to sit on each side for a few hours. Once this was done, we were finally able to put them back on the wings, and this is where they will stay, hopefully forever. Thank you for watching our fuel tank video, and please subscribe if you liked what you saw. This next video will be all about riveting and the bottom skins, and man, we are having quite the time with those. So stay tuned and we will see you soon.